The Tiree Wave Classic is back for the 40th edition.
Welcome to Tiree Wave Classic 2024!
Some of the biggest names in world windsurfing have come through involvement with this event. The legacy continues, 40 years and counting.
There can be only one. This is the biggest event in its history, with 87 riders across the women's, masters, youth, amateur and pro men's divisions. The riders come. It's the annual pilgrimage north to the latitude of 56.4 degrees north, 6.9 degrees west. They come for wind, for the beaches, for glory and for the sword. They come to challenge themselves against the raging storms and swells that are formed deep in the Atlantic Ocean. Already there's a storm approaching. Duncan Coombs, the PWA head judge, is on call to do a beach check.
It's got a long-standing history of being one of the best places for wind and different beach directions in the world.
Duncan heads to Ballyvullen and the Maze. Both beaches are on the west side of the island.
Yeah, there's swell. It's looking pretty positive. Yeah, the wave conditions at the Maze are pretty decent. You've got sort of overhead high sets out there on the sandbar. Should be good.
With good swell and a building storm, what's the verdict? Is it on or is it off?
We've got good conditions. Today we're going to get straight into it. On the Saturday, go over to the Maze Beach for a starboard tack jump and ride contest. It'll be 12-minute heat, 2 waves, 2 jumps to count, I would have thought. And then we've got a good forecast for Tuesday. We've got some side-off conditions and a good forecast for the end of the week. So happy days.
Before the fleets think about heading to the Maze, there's the official opening ceremony. Everyone gathers at Antalla, the HQ for the Classic, to celebrate 40 editions and catch up with old friends.
40 years, it's obviously quite a big year for Tiree, and I thought about time I come back and give it another shot. I want to win.
Back again, can't stay away from the place.
This year I thought, I'm going to go up, I'm going to compete, and I'm going to beat them all.
I haven't been for 6 years. I wanted to be part of the gang.
I think Tiree always attracts international sailors. And then you've got, the usual UK kind of motley crew that are all coming. The guys here from Ireland as well. The pro fleet is definitely stacked pretty high. 14 beaches, so whatever the wind blows, whichever direction the swell is, you can always find something that suits you.
It's amazing for windsurfing, one of the best spots you can get, So it's just amazing to be able to live here and just sail all year round.
Happy to be back here. Yeah, got to try and defend the sword again. There's so many good competitors, so, Bubble and Phil above me, but, there's plenty of guys here who can ruffle some feathers.
I hope you all have a great time and enjoy Tiree.
With the official business taken care of, everyone has had a chance for a catch-up. It's time to head to the Maze, the spiritual home of the Tiree Wave Classic on the west coast, and see how fierce the storm really is.
40 years, 40 plus knots, that's what you get. You wish for it, sometimes you get it.
It's absolutely, the water is white.
I can barely stand, probably 50 knots, I reckon. Insane.
What's going on?
Force 10, postponed until the wind drops. That's got to be a first. I don't remember any event ever doing a postponement because it was too windy. It's pretty extreme.
Here we are, it's too windy to windsurf. Who'd have thought, eh? Got a bit of a storm surge going on with the tide and the wind at the moment. The tide is higher than it should be because the wind has pushed the water up. I think we're just going to have to postpone for a little bit till the tide drops back, and hopefully the wind drops a little bit as well.
Competitors in the car park some of them getting very worried that we're going to send them out. And even some of the pros have hidden. I think we should send them out fairly soon, don't you?
And so finally, after managing to get all the crews and competitors organised and ready, the competition starts with a bang. What a way to open a 40th birthday party. The organisers send the first half of the pro men's fleet out with 64 knot gusts. It's pretty full on. And in the first heat, Julius Byrne takes down Walter Wiedenix and Hanish Gobbett beats Nick Welsh.
Completely nuts out there. It just can't do anything.
Every bit of me that could hurt, I think does hurt. So I got to figure out whether I've won or lost to see if my ego hurts as well.
His ego remains unhurt as he scored the highest wave of the event so far against Mike Archer. He makes it through to the quarterfinals alongside usual suspects James Cox, Andy Bubble Chambers and reigning British and Tiree Wave champion Lucas Meldrum. With such fierce conditions, the ferry carrying some of the pro fleet was delayed. So the day ends with the quarter-finalists waiting for the second half of the draw.
Here we are at the legendary maze, and the weather is definitely picking up. Wind's starting to build now and the waves starting to get a little bit better. So we're going to run through the Masters fleet today.
We're back at the maze. This time the wind is from the southeast, so it's a port tack session. The organisers start with the Masters. The fleet is so big there are 30 entries, so the lower seeds start off with four-man heats. Alex Rhodes takes out his mate Ben as Scott Davey just misses the final four. On the other side, McLawrence makes his first final in 6 years along with Ian Gibson and of course Clyde Waite.
First final in 6 years, 2018, since last time I got to the final.
Well done you, mate. Congratulations.
You want us out in 40 seconds? 40 seconds?
Your red light in 40 seconds.
We're going.
Red light in 40 seconds. Right,
we've got to go. Sorry to go.
Excellent. That's McLawrence first, Rhodes second, Gibson third, and Waite fourth. Thank you.
Very, very chuffed. Yeah, considering I could have easily bombed out.
Well, at first it was a bit of hard look, and then I just started to get my floor going towards the middle of the heat, so I was happy. Got a nice forward, some nice waves, some nice sections. Really chuffed with it, really chuffed.
1, 2, 3. There are 5 women competing. Leith Campbell and Corrie McFarland are both previous winners. Ellie Sutherland, a regular on the tour, and 2 newbies, Kate Hatcher and Georgia Soloway.
That's been a really good result for Corrie McFarlane coming first. Leith coming second with Georgia Soloway in third. Ellie Sutherland in fourth and Kate Hatcher in fifth.
She can probably give a few heats and still be okay. Very, very strong, but yeah, we'll go and do what we do.
As predicted, it's a super busy day at the maze as the other half of the pro men also gets underway, and they push until the second half of the table draws level with the first day's action. It's the Horrocks brothers, Phil and Dave, along with Ben Page and Luke Smith, who make it through to the quarterfinals. The first major upset of the event arrives as Rory Somerville knocks out Andy Bubble Chambers.
Somerville's just taken out Chambers, so Bubble's not happy, but he's got a chance to come back in the double elimination.
Last year's champion Lucas Meldrum continued his quest to defend his title, advancing to face Somerville in the first semi-final. A notable charge up the ranks from Luke Smith is ended by the prolific Phil Horrocks as he lines up a semi-final spot against Ben Page, who took the victory over Phil's brother Dave. There is another big upset as Ben Page knocks out multiple British champion Phil Horrocks.
when the waves are like this and there's no jumping and it's just wave riding, that's the time for people like me and Rory as well, when we have a bit more of a chance in those conditions.
In the previous heat before, I caught some killer waves, but then that one, I couldn't find any that lined up, couldn't find any that, you know, where everything went to mush, and he must have got better waves, so good.
For Lucas Meldrum, it's business as usual. He ends Rory Somerville's impressive run and advances to the final to face Ben Page. But with conditions fickle and getting worse, the judges opt to suspend competition until the following day. With an epic finals day on the horizon, join us in part 2 for the rest of the action from the 40th Tiree Wave Classic. Part 2 of the 40th Tiree Wave Classic, and it's all on at the Maze. It's finals day, and we find out who is the best of the best and on their way to claiming the sword.
It's reaching an exciting point in the competition because we didn't get the pro men's finals done yesterday. The conditions petered off, so we're going to run those today.
We've got a losers final and then we've got a winners final as well. It's going to be a big one, yeah.
We're going to start off with the amateurs before we get to that point.
These guys are kind of like the pros in waiting. Don't forget that on the tour, when they finish up, the top 2 amateurs automatically go up to the pro division.
The amateurs are an incredibly strong fleet with 14 rippers, all of them eyeing up that spot in the pro fleet next season.
This morning it's like 4.7, 4.2 cross off, whatever.
I mean, it's wave sailing, no jumps down the line, similar to how I did well in the double last year, so I'm hoping that might favour me slightly, but the guys are all handy, so anything can happen.
There's quite a few people in the amateurs. I think across all the fleets there's quite a high standard of sailing, so yeah, it's going to be tough.
With 2 qualifying groups, both advancing to the semis, it's Oliver Randall and last year's winner Conor Fagan make their way to the final, where they'll face Joe Vernon and Oscar Shaw.
I think I went as the underdog, so just went out and sailed as best as I could, really.
Yeah, I kind of held it together, just waited out for the good waves. I think the judges like to see bigger waves in the set.
If I had to guess, being optimistic, I'd say 3rd. I'd be quite happy with that.
It was Oliver Randall in 4th, Oscar Shaw 3rd, and very tight between last year's winner Conor Fagan and Joe Vernon, with underdog Joe Vernon taking the victory. The competition rumbles on, and straight after the amateurs, it's into the pro men's petite final. Horrocks is ripe for revenge and is against local lad Rory Somerville. Phil Horrocks takes the win from Somerville to secure 3rd, and then on to the final. It's Ben Page and last year's winner Lucas Meldrum.
Probably didn't have the best heat, but I don't know. See what Ben did. I don't know.
It's hard. I don't know, to be honest. I didn't really get the waves that I wanted. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
First place, Lucas Meldrum.
And in the final, it's Meldrum who secures the top spot with Ben Page in 2nd.
Luke Meldrum is now sitting in 1st. Ben Page sitting in 2nd. Phil Horrocks is eager to win this title and he's sitting in 3rd, so not great for Phil. But Rory Somerville in 4th is an amazing result for the young guy who came through the Future Pro system.
The Tiree Wave Classic has championed the development of windsurfing, and both Lucas Meldrum and Rory Somerville came through the Future Pros programme. A testament to a vision of keeping windsurfing current and alive with new talent. The organisers keep pushing on whilst the conditions are good with the men's pro double elimination.
Now the great thing about the double elimination is that it gives the guys that didn't do so well or who got knocked out in a single get a second bite of the cherry, and they can come back. And that's what Horrocks and Chambers are definitely going to want to do. So yeah, double elimination, it'll be going crazy.
This is the Big Tuesday Doubles Day. The aim is to complete the pro men, pro women and amateur double. Elimination gives those that went out early a chance of potentially winning the whole event. The focus now is on who comes back through the fleet. In the AMs, Max Metcalf, knocked out in the second round of the single, starts his double elimination in 12th place.
Super gusty, but the waves are really nice, so can't complain. Somehow scraped through a few heats.
Charges through the ranks and takes on seasoned Tiree competitor Oliver Randall for 4th place. He sails well and knocks Randall down to 5th position. As daylight fades, the final heats of the amateur competition are contested later in the week. Metcalf was unable to overcome Oscar Shaw, who retained his place on the podium. Last year's comeback kid and event winner Connor Fagan refused to be beaten by Shaw and set up a final with Joe Vernon. Thanks to some accomplished wave riding, Fagan sets up a super final.
I mean, who's feeling the most positive, optimistic or pessimistic?
I'm just ready to have a cup of tea, I think, so I'm not bothered what happens.
2023 winner Connor has a chance to retain his title. It was close, and it was Joe Vernon who found the edge to claim the 2024 amateur title. The Pro Fleet and the British Championship is on the line. A few of the favourites didn't deliver in the single and are ready to fight. The first to claw their way back is Irishman Finn Mellon.
I'm staying my run. I've got quite a run, but yeah, no, it feels good. 2 heats on the bounce. So
made it through,
hopefully
baby.
Keep going, same with this. Yeah.
Going through 2 rounds, he faces the legend that is Andy Bubble Chambers, who was super disappointed by his single performance. Beaten by Bubble, Finn finishes 10 places up in 7th.
Well, it was close heat between Bubble and I just don't like losing.
It's been a while since I've had to make a charge through the double, but I'm glad it's working. I mean, yeah, I do a lot of fitness at home, and I guess it's paying off on days like this where you're, at the beach all day doing heats back to back, back to back.
Bubble faces and takes down Rory Somerville. After yesterday's result, revenge is oh so sweet.
Enjoyed that one actually. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That. 2 good waves. I was pleased with that one.
Amazing what a bit of rage does for you.
Bubble had a good run, but was eventually beaten by the last wave of the heat, securing him 4th overall. Horrocks advances to face 2nd place Ben Page. In the meantime, also reaching the latter stages is the women's fleet.
It's quite challenging sailing today, like it's a bit offshore, which I'm not really used to, and it's super gusty, so it's really up and down, so you kind of don't have enough power to get out, but then you'll be like really overpowered on the waves. But we've sailed another 3 rounds, so it's nice to be out and get some more competition in. It's windy and there's waves, so that's a good day.
They have been charging through their rounds, and in tricky conditions, Corrie McFarlane retains her title for 2nd year running, with Leith Campbell in 2nd and Ellie Sullivan in 3rd.
This is the big one.
Well, the last one was the big one.
No, this is the big one.
Is it?
Yeah.
But the next one's the
this
big
is the title decider, the British title.
The British title can be decided in this next heat. If Phil beats Ben, the title is his. The drama continues and Ben Page beats Phil Horrocks.
So I think I was quite pleased with the waves that I picked. I didn't necessarily get on them what I wanted, but evidently enough to do the job. So yeah, great.
There was a couple of big waves came through and I just couldn't get the timing on the wave. It was just really hard with the chop and everything to work out when you were going to do an aerial. Like if I'd landed that, maybe that would have helped. But...
So if Lucas wins his next heat, they will both have got a first and a third. So we'll stick Phil and Lucas out to have a decider for the British Championship.
So it's all on. One last roll of the dice, the men's pro double final. Will it be Ben Pages or Lucas Meldrum? And will we go to a championship final? Page and Meldrum both demonstrate exceptional wave riding and push each other all the way. Page beats Meldrum in the first round, so it comes down to a super final to decide the event winner and potentially the British title.
Ben's like really used to this stuff. I've sailed a lot with him in Cornwall, so I just have to step it up.
And in first place, Lucas Meldrum. Very deserving.
The conditions we got there were like, you know, that's the proper deal. That's what we compensate really for. It's windy, it's waves, you know, it's not perfect, but it's rough and raw. And yeah, that was the kind of final I wanted with Ben, and yeah, happy, so stoked that I got it.
So we're going to have a sail-off for the title of the British Championship 2024.
It's a big one, so again, like the last heat, I've started to get more into the groove of it, so feeling good.
I've watched the last couple of heats, so it might actually work out good for me because I can see where I need to catch waves.
3, 2, 1, red flag.
One last 15-minute heat with two scoring waves to decide who will be the British champion 2024. The championship winners will be revealed during their prize-giving ceremony on the final night.
We're here because it is so iconic. The whole event is fantastic and it's all about the fresh air, the elements, and that's what our salmon live in when we're rearing them, so it matches very well.
We've been very busy litter picking, finding lots of tyres and carrying lobster pots around. So I think we earned our salmon as well.
Just being able to have this fish on the island, it's just amazing.
Out by the surf, on the beach, friends around, good fish. What's more to life than this, man?
At the end of the week, with the event all but wrapped up, Storm Ashley makes landfall on the Inner Hebrides. So the organisers opened up the door to the up-and-coming rippers of the Future Pro programme and gave them the option to compete.
It's their own decision to go out and they're all happy to go, they're fired up for it, so we're going. The wind is blowing onshore, so if anything happens they get blown very quickly back to the beach. Sort of on par with the wind we had on the first day, and it's on the limit.
It's not like they're sailing back and forward. They're doing jumps, they're doing manoeuvres, forward loops, tabletops, wave riding. That is the future of wave sailing, and they're coming on strong.
The Masters fleet was also given the chance to complete their double elimination. Despite a surge from Davy Edmondson, the podium remained unchanged as John McLawrence was able to retain first place. Earlier in 2024, the sport was forced to say goodbye to one of its legends, Farrell O'Shea, in a heartfelt tribute to cap off the event an expression session is held in his memory, celebrating his enduring spirit and love for windsurfing. On the final night, where the champions are crowned, we await one final result.
In first place, our DWA champ for 2024, Mr. Phil Horrocks.
As the Tiree Wave Classic's 40th anniversary event comes to a close, the Islanders and the windsurf community leave feeling happy yet exhausted, having shared an unforgettable week of celebration, thrilling competition and heartfelt camaraderie.